I'm Coach Mara, and this is English for Coaches. It's a guide to the lesson, and today we'll be talking about the lesson for older learners. The title of our lesson for today is matching the subject with the verb. In other words, subject-verb agreement. We'll skip ahead to the theory portion, the understand portion of the lesson. Let's start with a review of what singular and plural nouns are. I want you to hold up one finger. This means singular. Singular, in other words, is single. Single. Alright, now hold up 5 fingers. This is plural. Plural means plenty. Singular means single, column and learner. And what does plural mean? Plenty. Now, a trick to making singular nouns plural is just to add S to the end of the word. Now, you already know some of the special rules that we follow, but for most words, this is all you need to do. For example, cell phone, when you add S, becomes cell phones. Train, when you add S, becomes trains. And shirt, when you add S, becomes shirts. Let's try it together in this next slide. What does notebook become when you add S? That's right, it becomes notebooks. What about wire? What is the plural form of wire? Yep, it is wires. Box, if you remember our last rule on singular and plural nouns, you don't just add S, but you follow the Shokstra's rule. So you would add ES to that. And ballerina, add S, becomes ballerinas. So now I see that you understand the difference between singular and plural nouns. But remember, it's important that you match a singular noun with a singular verb. And also that you match a plural noun with a plural verb. How do you do that? That's what we're going to discuss today. Because there are 4 rules that you need to follow. What are these rules? For every noun that you use, your noun will either be singular, like kid, or plural, like kids. So you have to think about what verb to use to match that noun. Then this is the rule number 1, if your action happened in the past, then it's very simple. Whether it's singular or plural, all you have to do is change your action word to the past tense of the verb. So our verb for this is the word play. To use it in the past tense, all we have to do is turn it into played, because that's the past tense. So you would say the kid played, and it's the same for plural too. So you would say that the kids played yesterday. That is rule number 1. Rule number 2 is if it happens in the present tense, which means that it's happening regularly, it happens every day, it happens every week, or it's happening right now, then you have to add S to the end of the verb. So we use the add S rule. For example, the kid plays. But if your subject is plural, like the kids, then your verb should have no S. So instead of saying the kids plays, you would say that the kids play. No S, right? This is rule number 3. And last, if your action happens in the future, or it hasn't happened yet, but it will, then you just have to add the word will before your action word, before your verb. So, and you do this whether it's singular or plural. So you would say, the kid will play tomorrow. Or the kids will play in the park tomorrow. Let's try it with another example. Let's say that our subject for singular is girl and boy, and our subject for plural is girls and boys. While our verbs for girls is wear, and for boys is the word climb. If it happens in the past, remember we changed this to past tense, so that is the word wore. The girl wore a dress yesterday. Whereas for climb, what is the past tense of climb? Climbed, right? So we say that the boy climbed the wall last week. And this is the same, you'll notice, for singular and for plural. Now, rule number 2. If it is in the present, like it happens every day, but it's singular, then what's the rule again? That's right, we have to add S. The girl wears a dress to school every day. And it's the same for the word climb. Notice how there's an S at the end of climb, but the rule is different if we're talking about many girls or many boys. There is no S, that's right. So the girls wear is just the same, or the boys climb. And again, what's our rule? If it happens in the future, it hasn't happened yet, you have to add the word will before the verb. So whether it's singular or plural, you say will wear, will climb, and the same for the girls and the boys. Okay, so those are the 4 different rules. Let's practice them together. Our subject for singular is the dog, and our subject for plural is the dogs. The verb that we will be using is the word bark. So, in other words, arf, arf, or woof. That's our actual word. So, what is the past tense of the word bark? It is barked. And is it the same for plural or is it different? Yeah, it's actually the same. So we say, the dog barked a while ago, or the dogs barked last night. It's the same rule. What about for rule number 2? What about if it's present tense, but you're only talking about one dog? So you say the dog, yep, so follow the learner, the dog barks whenever he enters the room. Or if you're talking about many, what's the rule? What's the rule? That's right, no S, right? So you would say that the dogs bark all the time. And if it happens in the future, you have one subject, then how should we use the word bark? You would say, the dog will bark if you go near him. And what about if you have many? Do we follow a different rule? No, we follow the same rule. So it's still, the dogs will bark if you try to disturb them. In your notebooks, please copy just the words that are in red. I'll give you 2 minutes to copy this in your notebooks. Thanks for watching, coaches.